Hey guys, welcome to Bite Me. I couldn't even tell you what episode this is. I know we're getting towards the end of a season here, I think. And I may eventually just stop doing seasons and just transcend it into just direct episodes, like never ending. But today I wanted to talk about how representation and presentation matters. I made a post recently about how if women were empower more women, you would see less conflict in the world. And when I tell you the visceral response that men had to that post was heinous. These men, the concept of a woman being in power is so foreign to them that they can't fathom it in their minds without it being like an actual logical option. Like, it's laughable to them. And that is because they have never seen, to be honest, in America, we haven't seen representation like that. Representation matters, and we haven't seen the representation of a woman in office like that. And that's why it's such a laughable concept for them. And for women as well. Like, women and men cannot believe the sheer thought. All these years, all these presidents, what is it? There's been like 46 of them now. And we still can't come to grasp the concept that a woman could possibly be in charge. It's like the 1500s, 1600s, whatever time area where the women, they couldn't own a bank account, they couldn't manage money, Isn't that the same thing technically now? Have we evolved that much? So there's that with women. And then we also have only had one minority president. Sorry, my allergies are kicking in. So with that, presentation matters. And what I mean by that is when I was a child, there was only like the Cosbys and Family Matters. And that was what you saw in the Midwest as, the reality being presented to you that there are minorities in the world, because we didn't have them in rural Nebraska. Not really. And when I got older, I remember the Mindy Project coming out with Mindy Kaling, and my friend, she said, "Oh, it's a great show. Are you going to watch it?" And we've been over this. I used to be very Republican, very racist, very conservative, very ignorant. And I said, that's the one with that one Indian gal, right? Like, why would I watch that show? And it came off very racist, and it was racist. But what I was meaning by that at the time is like, why would I watch that? I can't relate to it because she doesn't look like me. And you can sit there and judge me if you want to, but the reality is when you know better, you do better. I had only grown up surrounded by white people, so I couldn't understand the concept that here this Indian woman would be the main character of a TV show. And to this day, you tell me how many indigenous women you see as female leads, how many female leads you see as movies that are minorities. You will see some Latina, Latinx, stuff like that. But, and even, in the black community, they have like Tyler Perry, BET, stuff like that. But how often do you see women of color being represented as the lead? You don't. And therefore, it is a foreign concept. And that is why presentation matters. That the idea that minorities, ethnicities outside of your own, would be presented to you as the reality for the world. I would encourage you to really think about that in the stuff that you're watching. Like, okay, like just be conscious about it when you're watching it on Netflix. Like, how many shows am I watching where a white male is the lead? How good are the ratings for this show? And then I would challenge you to think about the fact that people are saying that racism still isn't prevalent today when you have such insidious misogyny and racism in Hollywood itself. I have since made peace with the Mindy Project, and I started to watch it on Netflix. It is a very good show, or actually I think it's Hulu where it's on right now. But it really makes me want to kick myself because that is a relatable show for me. It is about a woman struggling. It's maybe even a little before its time. It's like circa 2012. But here I would have missed out on that opportunity to watch that show that I relate to, all because I could not get with the concept that a woman that is a race outside of my own would be the lead in a sitcom. We'll be right back with Bite Me. Hey guys, welcome back to Bite Me. So we're talking about how representation and presentation matters for women, and in particular minority women. Men cannot grasp in their brains that we could ever have a female president, just as I could not grasp at a younger version of myself that a minority woman would be the lead in a sitcom. I think that what that means for white women, not that we should continue to be included in things, but we have work to do. So it's up to us to elevate these minority women and shine a light on things that won't get seen because they are minorities. It's a lot of times where my partner Eric and I were just discussing this. Like, he was like, people will run into me in the store because I'm a minority, so they don't see me. And I've heard women who are overweight say that, or not. I don't want to use the term overweight. That's not really a thing that we use anymore. Fuller figured woman. I don't know why we have such a negative connotation with the word fat either. Why is it negative to be fat? If you're fat, you're fat. What's wrong with that? You know, I got fat in the pandemic. I like it. So, but to each their own, and to everybody's opinions their own. But women who have a fuller frame will tell me that they are not seen in public. Older women, mature women, will say that they are not seen in public. It's something about if you're not a young, youthful white woman, typically, that you're not going to get seen. You will be overlooked. And that comes into the whole Hollywood concept and women in politics concept. And men will use their shitty behavior as an excuse. They'll be like, well, this white woman bagged on AOC. Marjorie Taylor Greene bagged on AOC, so why can't I say these things about AOC? And that is not... Like, is that what we want to represent, white ladies? No. I don't want to sit here and be the righteous white woman. I'm just saying, if you see it and you have the opportunity to elevate these women of color, that is what you should be doing. You should be very conscious in when you're in the store, okay, am I looking at this woman and not really seeing her? Am I watching this show and not really seeing what's going on in it? Be conscious of the things that you are intaking, because those things are going to make you subconsciously aware of what's going on around you. It's not enough to be like, okay, I'm not a racist because I think that black people should not be shot in the street. Like, you can be covertly racist, like I was. When I said, oh, isn't that show with that Indian lady? Why would I watch that? That was covertly racist. Be aware of how you were brought up and how you can make those changes. And over time, it will become easier for you, but right now it's very hard. And I'm actually very optimistic because my daughter, you know, she doesn't think this way. Things just are the way they are for her. She's very, you see what you get, and the world is the world. And that makes me really happy because when we were growing up, it was very, like if there's a black person in the store, you know, like you were just sort of subconsciously aware of that and you didn't know why. But again, these are Midwestern internalized beliefs that maybe are not as prevalent in the South or somewhere like that. But I think they might be because everybody has a lot to say about police brutality. Anyways, I think you guys are smelling what I'm stepping in. Watch The Mindy Project on Hulu. Be conscious of the women around you. Are you overlooking somebody for how they look? And should you be doing more about that? Even the playing field a little bit so that we can all be equal. That's all I got for you today on Bite Me. We'll see you next time.